The crystalline spires of the Nexer Command Center pierced the purple skies of Meridian Prime, their surfaces reflecting the light of 3 setting suns. Within the highest chamber, Strategic Overseer Thelvek stood motionless, his 4 arms clasped behind his back as he studied the holographic projection of a small blue planet. "Summarize Assessment Protocol 7 Delta," he commanded, his voice resonating through the chamber's neural interface. The AI responded immediately, its voice a carefully modulated harmony. Earth, 3rd planet from local star. Population, approximately 8 billion sentients. Technology level, pre-FTL. Military capability, limited to chemical propulsion weapons, basic atomic devices, and rudimentary space presence. Threat assessment, minimal. Thalvek's upper lip curled in what passed for a smile among his species. After 3 centuries of serving the collective, he had overseen the integration of 17 civilizations into their empire. Some came willingly, others required persuasion, but none had posed a significant challenge to Nexer superiority. Earth would be his 18th, and by far the simplest. "Display territorial analysis," he ordered. The hologram shifted, highlighting population centers, military installations, and resource deposits. The Overseer had chosen Earth for its strategic position in an unclaimed sector of space, but the planet's abundant resources would more than justify the minimal effort required for its acquisition. Senior Tactician Hirrell entered the chamber, her ceremonial armor gleaming. "Overseer, the preliminary invasion fleet stands ready. 300 ships as requested, though I maintain this is excessive for such a primitive world." "Prudence, Kirrell," Thalvek replied, his secondary eyes focusing on her, while his primary pair remained fixed on the hologram. "While I agree the number may seem excessive, the collective's reputation demands a certain theatrical element to our arrivals. Of course, Overseer. Though I've reviewed their global communication networks, they still debate whether other intelligent life exists. Their most advanced weapons wouldn't scratch our lowest-grade shields. They'll likely surrender at first sight of our fleet." Thalvek gestured with his lower right arm, and the hologram zoomed in on a series of military bases. "Perhaps, yet their species has demonstrated remarkable adaptability. They'd progressed from primitive flight to rudimentary space exploration in less than a century. Impressive, for their level. All the more reason to act now, before they advance further," Kirrell suggested. "Their internal communications suggest they're on the verge of several technological breakthroughs. Nothing that would threaten us, but waiting could complicate the integration process." The Overseer nodded, all 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "Agreed. Initialize the final phase of Protocol 7 Delta. Standard approach. Show of force, demanded surrender, minimal casualties. I want this world intact and its population suitable for productive integration." As Kirrell turned to leave, Thalvek added, "And Kirrell, have the Science Division prepare for immediate deployment. Earth's adaptability intrigues me. Their genetic capacity for rapid advancement could prove useful to the collective's ongoing evolution projects." After she departed, Thalvek spent several more moments studying the hologram. Something about this world nagged at his highly developed intuition. Their preliminary scans had detected no energy signatures suggesting advanced technology, no defense grid, no planetary shields, nothing that could pose even a minor threat to Nexer supremacy. Yet these humans had achieved in centuries what took other species millennia. "Computer, display historical analysis of human conflicts." The hologram shifted again, showing various battles throughout Earth's history. Thalvek watched with mild interest as the images flickered past, primitive weapons giving way to increasingly sophisticated tools of war, tactics evolving, strategies adapting. These humans seemed to have an unusual aptitude for warfare, despite their technological limitations. "Curious," he murmured to himself. "Computer, probability of successful integration within standard parameters. Calculating. 99.97% probability of success. Margin of error, 0.03%. The numbers were reassuring. Yet that nagging feeling persisted. Thalvik dismissed it as excessive caution born of experience. After all, the Nexer Collective hadn't become the dominant force in this sector of space by underestimating potential threats. "Initiate final countdown," he commanded. "Fleet departure in 30 planetary rotations. Let's welcome Earth to the greater galactic community." As the hologram faded, Thalvik allowed himself to imagine the accolades this easy victory would bring. Another world added to the collective, another species integrated into their perfect order, another step toward universal harmony under Nexer guidance. Deep beneath the surface of the planet he studied so confidently, in hardened bunkers and hidden facilities across the globe, humanity was far from defenseless. They had long anticipated this moment, preparing in ways the Nexer Collective couldn't imagine. The coming encounter would shatter not just Thalvik's expectations, but the galaxy's understanding of humanity's place among the stars. The Nexer fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, 300 ships arranged in the collective's signature delta pattern. From his command position aboard the flagship Eternal Dawn, Thalvik watched with satisfaction as Earth grew larger in their view screen. "Curious," remarked Kirrell, studying her displays. "No panic in their communications. Their orbital satellites have detected us, yet their military forces remain at standard readiness. Perhaps their detection systems are too primitive to understand what they're seeing," Thalvik suggested, though something in their lack of response heightened his earlier unease. "Begin the standard approach. Deploy the shock and awe formation." The fleet shifted, spreading out to cast imposing shadows over Earth's major cities. It was a tactic that had sparked immediate surrender in 11 of their previous 17 conquests. The remaining 6 had at least shown signs of panic. "Overseer," a sensor operator called out, "I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's dark side." Specification: "Unable to classify, sir. They're shifting somehow." As if. The operator's report was cut short by a sudden flash of light. From the Earth's surface, thousands of points of light erupted simultaneously. They weren't the primitive missiles the Nexer had expected. These were something else entirely. The lights coalesced into geometric patterns, forming a massive energy grid that encompassed the entire planet. "Impossible," Kirrell whispered. Before Thalvik could respond, a transmission cut through their communication system, overriding their most sophisticated encryption as if it weren't there. "Attention, Nexer Collective vessels." The voice was calm, measured, speaking perfect standard galactic. "This is General Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Initiative. You have entered protected space without authorization. You have 30 seconds to begin retreat procedures." Thalvik's forearms tightened at his sides. A bluff. It has to be. Return transmission. "This is Strategic Overseer Thalvik of the Nexer Collective. Your planet has been selected for integration. Surrender now." And the energy grid pulsed. In that instant, 40 Nexer ships simply disappeared, their matter converted to energy so efficiently that they didn't even explode. 20 seconds. General Chen's voice came again, as calm as before. "Shields at maximum," Thalvik ordered. "Launch the first wave off." Another pulse. 60 more ships vanished. The remainder of the fleet began to break formation, their perfect delta dissolving into chaos. "What you're witnessing," Chen continued, "is a demonstration of our zero-point energy defense grid. We've known about the collective for decades. We've prepared accordingly." Thalvik's mind raced. Their intelligence had been wrong, catastrophically wrong. All ships, emergency retreat. Full power tow. The grid pulsed one final time. This time, the energy patterns shifted, forming corridors through their fleet. From these corridors emerged vessels unlike anything in the collective's database. They were organic-looking yet clearly artificial, their surfaces rippling with what appeared to be liquid metal. "These are our Chimera-class interceptors," Chen explained. "Biomechanical ships with neural interfaces far beyond your crystalline computing systems. We could have eliminated your entire fleet with the grid, but we wanted to demonstrate our full capabilities. The Chimera ships moved with impossible grace, their liquid metal surfaces absorbing every shot from the panicking Nexer vessels, while returning fire with weapons that seemed to ignore shields entirely. Fascinating design. Came a new voice over the command channel. Your crystalline technology is elegant, but fundamentally flawed. Too rigid, too predictable. I'm Dr. Marcus Wong, head of Earth's Xenotechnology Division. We've been studying pieces of your ships for years. Debris from your secret reconnaissance missions. Thalvek stared in horror as his fleet was systematically dismantled. Not destroyed, disabled with surgical precision. Their ships rendered powerless but intact. You see, General Chen's voice returned. Humanity has a rather extensive history of preparing for worst-case scenarios. When we detected your first probes decades ago, we didn't panic. We didn't announce it to the public. We studied. We prepared. We evolved. Within minutes, only the flagship remained operational. The Chimera ships surrounded them, their liquid metal surfaces reflecting the disabled fleet's crystalline hulls. Now then, Strategic Overseer Thalvek, Chen concluded, shall we discuss the terms of your surrender? We have much to teach the collective about the dangers of underestimating primitive species. As Thalvek stared at the supposedly primitive planet that had just decimated his fleet, he realized that the galaxy's balance of power had shifted irrevocably. The Nexer Collective's perfect record of conquests hadn't just been broken, it had been shattered, along with every assumption they'd made about humanity's capabilities. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he had a feeling this was only the beginning of humanity's surprises. In the depths of Mount Cheyen's classified level Omega, General Chen stood before a gathering of Earth's highest-ranking military and scientific leaders. Behind her, a massive holographic display showed the disabled Nexer fleet being systematically contained by Earth's Chimera ships. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, Phase 1 is complete. The Nexer Collective has been educated about their misconceptions. Now comes the more challenging part. Dr. Wong stepped forward, his hands dancing through the holographic interface. We've begun analyzing their flagship's quantum database. The Collective isn't just an empire, it's a hive mind network spanning 27 star systems. What we defeated today was merely a scouting force. The room tensed. Admiral Hassan spoke up from his position at the council table. How much time do we have? Based on their quantum communications, Dr. Wong replied, approximately 72 hours before their primary fleet mobilizes. 3,000 ships, minimum. General Chen smiled. Fortunately, we've been preparing for this scenario for the past 30 years. Doctor, show them Project Prometheus. The hologram shifted, revealing a massive structure hidden within the dark side of the moon. It resembled a blooming flower made of darkness itself, its petals composed of material that seemed to absorb light. This, Dr. Wong explained, is humanity's true defense system. The energy grid was impressive, yes, but it's merely our first line of defense. Project Prometheus represents the culmination of reverse-engineered alien technology combined with humanity's unique approach to quantum mechanics. He expanded the display, showing the intricate inner workings of the structure. We discovered something the Collective missed in their rush to expand their empire. The fabric of space-time isn't just malleable, it's programmable. Their crystalline technology tries to force reality to bend. We learned to ask it politely. The council members leaned forward as Dr. Wong demonstrated the system's capabilities. Prometheus can create localized pockets of altered physics. We can selectively change the speed of light, modify gravitational constants, even temporarily suspend certain universal laws within defined spaces. In practical terms, General Chen added, we can create zones where their weapons don't work, where their ships' crystal matrices spontaneously reorganize, or where their faster-than-light travel drops them into precisely calculated traps. Admiral Hassan whistled low. No wonder we kept this under wraps. The public would have never believed. A priority alert flashed across the holographic display. Dr. Wong's fingers flew across the interface. We're detecting quantum fluctuations. They're coming sooner than expected. How many? Chen demanded. 5,000 ships. They're not taking any chances this time. The council erupted in concerned murmurs, but General Chen raised her hand for silence. This is what we planned for. Admiral Hassan deployed the Ghost Fleet. The hologram shifted again, showing vast shipyards hidden throughout the asteroid belt. Thousands of ships emerged from their concealment, their designs even more advanced than the Chimera interceptors. The Nexer Collective thinks they understand humanity's capabilities now, Chen continued. They believe they've seen our best technology, our strongest defenses. They're still underestimating us. She turned to Dr. Wong. Activate the quantum entanglement network. Across Earth, hidden facilities hung to life. Millions of quantum processors, linked through channels that transcended normal spacetime, began their calculations. Project Prometheus's pedals started to move, realigning themselves into a new configuration. What they don't understand, Dr. Wong explained to the council, is that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our creativity. Every other species we've studied approaches problems linearly. They find a solution and refine it. Humans, we find 10 solutions, combine their best elements, then look for 10 more. The quantum network's calculations reached their conclusion. Project Prometheus locked into its final configuration. Around Earth, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. The Nexer Collective is about to learn, General Chen said softly, that their fundamental understanding of the universe is incomplete. Humanity hasn't just been preparing for war. We've been rewriting the rules of reality itself. As the first wave of the Collective's main fleet began to emerge from hyperspace, they found themselves facing not just an enemy, but a civilization that had transformed the laws of physics into an art form. The true battle for humanity's place in the galaxy was about to begin, and Earth had far more surprises in store. The space around Earth erupted in a display that defied conventional physics. As the Nexer fleet emerged from hyperspace, Project Prometheus activated. Reality rippled like water disturbed by countless stones. From his containment chamber aboard Earth's primary command station, Felvek watched in stunned silence as his civilization's mighty armada encountered humanity's true defenses. The Nexer ships, each a masterpiece of crystalline engineering, found themselves in a universe that no longer played by their rules. Remarkable, isn't it? Dr. Wong stood beside the containment field, studying data streams on his neural interface. Your ships are trying to compensate for the changed physics, but they're limited by their own programming. They can only adapt within parameters they understand. In space, the first wave of Nexer ships discovered that their weapons fired backwards. The second wave found their crystal matrices rearranging into abstract art. The third wave emerged from hyperspace only to find themselves traveling backward in time by 30 seconds, creating infinite causal loops that forced their automated systems to shut down. Impossible, Felvek whispered. You can't. Reality doesn't. Reality, General Chen interrupted, entering the chamber, is far more flexible than the Collective realized. You built an empire on the assumption that the universe's laws were fixed. We built our defenses on the knowledge that they're more like guidelines. The Ghost Fleet engaged, their ships moving through spaces that shouldn't exist. They seemed to phase between dimensions, appearing inside the Nexer vessel's shield perimeters, as if the barriers weren't there. Some human ships split into quantum superpositions, existing in multiple places simultaneously until the moment of attack. The quantum entanglement network is operating at full capacity, Dr. Wong reported. Project Prometheus is rewriting local spacetime faster than their ships can adapt. Shall we proceed with Phase 3? General Chen nodded. Show them what humanity can really do. The moon's shadow shifted as Project Prometheus reached its full potential. The flower-like structure bloomed completely, revealing its true nature, a quantum computer the size of a small continent, designed to modify reality itself. In space, Corridors of altered physics spread like cracks in a windshield. Nexer ships found themselves in bubbles where probability itself had been rewritten. Their perfect crystalline technology, unable to process the impossible, began to fail systematically. You see, Dr. Wong explained to Thalvek, while the collective was busy building bigger ships and stronger weapons, humanity took a different approach. We ask ourselves, why play by the universe's rules when we could change them? The quantum entanglement network pulsed. Across Earth, billions of human minds connected subtly to the system, their collective consciousness adding an element of chaos and creativity that no artificial system could match. Project Prometheus didn't just calculate possibility, it dreamed it. Your final mistake, General Chen said to Thalvek, wasn't underestimating our technology. It was underestimating human nature itself. We've spent our entire history looking at rules and asking why not. When we learned the laws of physics, we didn't just accept them. We looked for loopholes. The battle, if it could still be called that, reached its climax. The remaining Nexer ships found themselves in a region where cause and effect had been locally inverted. Every defensive action they took became an attack on themselves. Every attempt to retreat drove them further into humanity's trap. Collective Command is sending a priority transmission, an officer reported. They're requesting unconditional surrender. Thalvek's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of complete submission in Nexer culture. How? He asked finally. How did we miss this? Our surveys, our intelligence. You saw what you expected to see, Dr. Wong replied. A pre-FTL civilization with primitive technology. You never thought to look for quantum reality manipulation because, to your science, it was impossible. While you were watching our rockets, we were learning to rewrite the universe. General Chen stepped closer to the containment field. Now, Overseer Thalvek, let's discuss the future. Humanity has no interest in conquest. We've seen enough of history to know empires always fall. Instead, we're offering the collective a choice: adaptation or obsolescence. The quantum entanglement network shimmered with possibility. Project Prometheus held reality in its grasp, ready to either restore normal physics or permanently rewrite the rules around the Nexer fleet. The next few moments would determine not just the fate of 2 civilizations, but the very nature of cosmic law itself. 1 month after the Battle of Earth's orbit, the Grand Chamber of the United Earth Council hosted an unprecedented gathering. Representatives from the Nexer Collective sat opposite Earth's leaders, their crystalline forms reflecting the ambient light in waves of subdued color, a sign of humility in their culture. Supreme Overseer Valtik, the highest authority in the collective, faced General Chen across the quantum-stabilized conference table. The very air seemed to hum with possibility as Project Prometheus maintained a subtle field of altered reality around the chamber, a quiet reminder of humanity's newfound power. The terms you propose, Valtik began, his voice resonating through the neural translators, are unlike anything in galactic history. You have the power to destroy us, yet you offer partnership. Dr. Wong, now serving as Earth's chief scientific liaison, manipulated the holographic display between them. Destruction is easy. Evolution is more interesting. Your crystalline technology, combined with our quantum manipulation capabilities, could transform both our civilizations. The display showed simulations of hybrid technologies, Nexer crystal matrices enhanced by quantum programming, ships that could navigate through deliberately altered physics, medical technologies that could rewrite the laws of biology itself. Our species have complementary strengths, General Chen added. You've perfected the art of working within universal laws. We've mastered the science of changing them. Together, we could unlock aspects of reality neither of us could achieve alone. Valtik's secondary eyes shifted to study the simulations while his primary pair remained fixed on Chen and the other species under collective protection. What of them? Protection. Thalvik spoke up from his new position as reform advocate, a role created specifically for him after his experiences on Earth. Let us be honest, Supreme Overseer, we didn't protect them. We controlled them. This is our opportunity to truly help them grow. The holographic display shifted again, showing the 17 worlds currently under Nexar control. Dr. Wong highlighted potential quantum technology integration points for each civilization, tailored to their unique development paths. Every species has its own way of viewing reality, he explained. We're not proposing to force our methods on anyone. Instead, we want to create a framework where each civilization can explore its own potential, supported by both Nexar stability and human innovation. General Chen stood, her presence commanding attention despite her small size compared to the Nexar representatives. What we're offering isn't just peace, it's a fundamental reimagining of what's possible. The universe is far stranger and more flexible than any of us imagined. It's time we explored it together. A moment of profound silence filled the chamber. Veltic performed the complex series of eye blinks that indicated deep contemplation in Nexar culture. Finally, he rose to his full height. For 10,000 years, the collective has sought perfection through order, he declared. We believed we were bringing harmony to the galaxy. Humanity has shown us that true harmony doesn't come from enforcing rules. It comes from understanding how to transcend them wisely. He extended all four arms in the traditional Nexar gesture of alliance. We accept your proposal. Let this day mark the beginning of the Quantum Concordat, a partnership that will reshape our understanding of reality itself. As the treaty was formalized, Dr. Wong quietly activated a subroutine in Project Prometheus. The quantum field around Earth shifted subtly, creating a permanent reminder of this moment, a localized space where human and Nexar physics merged perfectly, creating something entirely new. You know, Thalvik commented to General Chen as they watched their leaders sign the historic agreement. When I first surveyed Earth, I thought we were studying you. I never realized you were actually studying us. Chen smiled. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or even our ability to manipulate reality. It's our capacity to imagine impossible things and then figure out how to make them possible. We looked at the laws of physics and asked, what if? We looked at your empire and asked, why not? As the ceremony concluded, the quantum entanglement network pulsed one final time, sending a signal across Earth and through all Nexar worlds. Reality itself seemed to celebrate, rippling with possibilities that neither humanity nor the collective had yet dreamed of. The age of rigid universal laws was over. The era of quantum possibility had begun. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, other civilizations watched and wondered what impossible things this new alliance would dream up next.